So, for those that have had family loss from cancer, you know that diseases used to be called plagues, and you know that we didn't have any of these exist until at least like after the 10th century, which came around like 13th or 12th, I believe. Um, but everything else has actually manifested just like the element chart, where it all started with fire. So, with my EMI theory that I created, evil manipulates innocence. It goes to show with the demograph how everything is the opposite of how it should be. Uh, People that we thought that were great leaders have been bad. People that we thought were people have been having conspiracies of aliens. People have always separated aliens and demons when really deity means demonic entity or distant entity, something that's not from Earth, something that's not organic. There are types of parallel universes in which they keep multiplying, just like how metaphrase or whatever that is called, where they separate and evolution is. That's a lot of what the geometry, as well as having a twin you somewhere in this world in the United States, and also having a twin planet. So that keeps adding up more and more and more. You have stars that are balls of gas that are shining bright, and that's like the aura coming together for a planet to be born, just like a baby in the thought process, as well as after the birds and bees, 9 months. It ends up being really long because it's a planet, but still, everything has a reincarnation state. Like a phoenix, you rebuild yourself in this life from being unsure and unprofessional to be ready and great and give a great performance, be on top, on point. But then afterlife, there's Genesis, and there's so many stigmas and pinpoints for subliminal messages, giving us warnings, giving us reasons to question that, to wonder when is it happening. And all of those are just subliminal messages to awaken you. So there'll be people that will try to say I'm making this up, I want clout, or he's doing this and that. Let me tell you two stories that were horrendous when I was young that I hated. And I didn't really know why because of my traumas, but just knowing that you've been through something subconsciously, your body angers your mental state. And so when I heard, I was working construction, and the guy that lived in Mexico told my dad the story of a child going to a school, and it was on the news in the morning in Spanish. She went to school. The boy went to school, needed to go to the restroom, tried to go, and couldn't make it to the bathroom, so he was going to pee in the hallway. Little girl was right there. I don't know how exactly what, but the story is, as soon as he opened his zipper and went to pee, she went down on her knees. And then they went to the principal's office, and the principal asked, why is this and that happen? And they said, because my father makes me do that. My father has me do that. And so that really bothered me, hurt me inside. And that just shows the many accounts of levels of going through traumas and parent. But that one's sick. Usually I'm talking about the ones of people being drunks and beating their kids. So we have been having this happen way too long. Same thing with this other case. Now this one is very, very demonic, and I apologize. I don't even like to bring it up, but my case is real, and the reason why I stand behind it so strong for everybody. A man in Spring Valley was arrested, and it was on the news, and it was one of the few times I wasn't homeless where I saw it on my dad's TV. And the man was arrested for getting in a fight with his girlfriend, killing the little baby that was like a toddler, raping her and breaking her legs in half. They asked him what was the reason. He said he was mad at her, but he blamed the drugs, meth. I've been around that stuff, sadly, because I never wanted to be around it when I was a kid. My sisters were running away on it. My dad's baby mama was a snitch for the DA, so she got away with a lot of stuff. I mean, it was just terrible to see my little sisters at a trolley walk around barefoot while this lady was all cracked out and smoking and drinking. Now she's supposedly all better, but it's very sad. The torment, as far as being one of those families that have been cursed and seen others that are just like that. I mean, I never even knew that there'd be so many victims that are everywhere with me. But when I was younger, feeling alone, I used to always think I don't want anyone to ever have a life like me because of how miserable it was, how unloved, or how nobody really wanted to support me, you know? They just thought the worst of me. And that happened because of some sexual abuse traumas with traumatized sisters who were taken advantage by my native side, because natives have had it bad. Everyone has had it bad, but still it should have been learning lessons to take care of the future, which is the kids. And instead, everybody has just been dwelling and salting and eating up this reality carnage of not noticing, like not praying and not being humble, not keeping a family together, not keeping the love inside, and giving the gift of giving. We've been through so many protests throughout the whole thing of having votes and people just trying to fight back, that it's all been for nothing, because it shows that every time we thought we wanted something, things kept getting worse. We've always had distractions, and every time a distraction failed, a new one was brought into play. And so paranormal, spirituality, sex trafficking, drugs, manipulation of all standards for greed, power, is all there, and it's all relevant in our existence. Easy way to bottle it up and say is just be aware of your 7 sins, because that is what can destroy mankind. And that is why the earth, which has a spiritual core that everybody sadly is interested in drilling into, it can actually make sure we have no more heaven or a place to be reborn again, reincarnation. Everything that goes to fertilizer, that's the body, but everything that's mind and spirit lives on and is supposed to continue. So instead of having the mind and body, or mind and spirit, grow strong and make immune systems a lot and live possibly long, but for sure longer, everything has been getting broken down. Concrete being recycled, it's dust that's just with water, so it's that much weaker. When you look at water we drink, we can't drink from the fountains because we have too much pollution that can't be filtered, because certain things mix too well in its elements. You have foods that are losing vitamins and nutrients. Everything is starting to go to a lower percentage. And you have lands that are no longer able to farm. Everything is turning industrial. And, where do you go for help or sponsors? And you ask people to take care of this matter instead of, riots or people trying to protest and getting shot, or, grenades or anything, tear gas thrown at them. You ask your leaders, but all the leaders are getting ready to fight in nuclear weaponry, where really any powers of association with, picking the dark side, the demons possessing you, it shows that those who don't care about life are very much on that dark side, and they're possessed. And greed and power and, fake eternal life, as far as taking out my enemy and living forever, or destroying this earth and the ozone and passing on, but living forever as a deity. I mean, this isn't fake. Natives have always had understandings with spiritual world. The spiritual world always has given us subliminal messages, ghost hauntings, paranormal angered spirits. All these are an effect of a lot of unbalanced charts of our world and our universe. You have planets that all live and they all have duties, and you have some things that live underground. You have some things that are just water planets and animals, and they don't live there no more. And you have sides like Pluto and all of that, where it froze and we're getting hotter to the sun. So scientifically and paranormally and everything realistically, we are closing our 9 gates, because those were open to us when alchemy was exposed in cultures without noticing. Originally, we're supposed to have three forms, you know. It's not supposed to be three demons of revelation. That's where those influencers who helped write all this in different languages manipulated us. We're supposed to have three stages: life, death, and anew. Life, death, anew. Constantly, you know. It's always supposed to be in threes of all types of measurements. If you know how to conduct your quantum thinking and your research, you'll notice that everything has gone up. So instead of having three gates that weren't really hell, but were of transforming or graduating or continuing, you know, your retrial, we ended up having 6 more gates opened up. And that is why there's so many more rinky-dink, quote unquote, horrific type of things. You know, more paranormal than normal, more demonic and angelic. We are naturally God's creation, and our intellect is supposed to grow so massively that no matter what, there was never really the term originally angels. We would be turning into demigods because of how powerful our minds were and how big our spirits grew. You know, the body goes back to earth, but what happens to every legend once it graduates completely? There's a star that turns into a planet, and it has your name on it. It sounds dumb, but all movies, writings, books, anything that the spirit can actually provide for you as far as notes, evidence, clues, it has done that. And that is why people laughed at me for a while when I talked about movies and how they demonstrate the same exact matches of you know, this court case investigation that I have towards trying to save everybody on Earth. After a while, I woke up and I realized it's not just humanity, it's not just the plants, and it's just not the animals. It's, you know, past lives, present, future. It's also our existence, our home, and our protecting gates of or walls of the universe being our castle. You know, the kingdom is Earth, and the universe is our front gate where we're protected. So it sounds crazy to a lot, but coming from somebody who has had his palm read at a 7-Eleven, just being a customer, seeing a regular customer talk to the cashier who was military, and he loved the fact that she was so precise on the handprint. I looked at this handprint, and she looked at it. She said, "You're supposed to be rich." It says that continuous mark right there says that you are rich. And for the longest, I've never had that much money. Barely been able to keep my head above water at times, and other times just from holding on 1 or 2 possessions, I looked like if I was bawling. You know, a watch, a necklace, and I've only had a necklace twice in my life. I've had a watch twice in my life, and I've had a very nice car once, but that was from a lawsuit. Other than that, I would be on the streets with a little lemon, homeless if I wasn't this much more aware and intellectually stable to actually reunite with some family. Like I said, a lot of us are cursed, and so bridges that were broke from misunderstanding because we were all misguided are now fixed, and we need to do the rest of that with the rest of the world. So please join me on Jesus Loves You. It's my group for Facebook, and I hope to continue more work and research just to get everybody awake and ready, prepared for anything, because if you believe in God and never stirred away, you are that much stronger. If you're asking for forgiveness, you will be saved. But if you don't, and you'll be lost to the edges of the universe where dark matter really takes advantage of you. And really, we're not supposed to be lost in this universe. For it is said, just like how God has let people learn science, that was the tools to reach him if you lost your way spiritually, that there is a universe inside of you. So take care.